horrific case of two young women, both in their 20s, bludgeoned to death allegedly by their parents. The incident happened in Madanapalle in Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh, when the two girls were found in a pool of blood with head injuries inside their home. When the police reached the spot, the parents, both highly educated, reportedly claimed that they could revive their two girls and should be given time till the night. For more details, we have Uma joining us. Uma, this just sounds horrific. Can you tell us what exactly were those rituals that they wanted to perform? How exactly has the police now learnt that this incident happened?
Extremely bizarre and horrific, no doubt about that. A 22-year-old and a 27-year-old being bludgeoned to death by their own parents, and what the parents seem to believe is that they could bring them back to life after the completion of certain rituals. What these rituals are is not yet clear. I asked the DSPO, Mr. Chidananda Reddy, what exactly were they doing? Were they part of any particular cult, and were they following any particular guru, and did anyone influence them to take this particular decision? And he said that they had found quite a variety of people who they seem to be following, including some very, very well-known names as well. But he also pointed out that none of these people has ever advocated in public any kind of a human sacrifice of this sort, or even any kind of a ritual of this sort, where the murder of young daughters may be in fact part of that kind of a ritual. So what we are talking about is an associate professor of chemistry in a government degree college in Madanapalle in Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh, a mother who is in fact running an IIT talent school, and in fact outside their quite a three-storied huge home. They are well-to-do, they are very well-educated as well. She has put up saying that she's a gold medalist, in fact, in MSc Mathematics. The daughters, one of them was a forest management graduate and worked at the IIFM in Bhopal and came back during the COVID pandemic. The other daughter was also a BBA, the 23-year-old girl, Sai Divya. She was in fact pursuing Carnatic music. So by all counts, it appears to be a very, very regular family, and what the few people have managed to speak to also say that they were a very friendly family who in fact would counsel others during trouble. One of them in fact said the mother is a very kind person, and he had been personally the recipient of that kind of a kindness and was in fact touched by her kindness. What really went wrong? Not very clear yet. What the police seem to suggest from their whatever questioning they have had of this couple is that they are in a highly delusional state right now, and they seem to strongly believe that they can bring back their two daughters back to life. And he also said that yes, during the period of pandemic, no outsiders seem to have gone into the house. They are trying to check, even domestic help has not gone inside the house. Whether the lockdown itself had an impact on their mental health, on the kind of psychological impact that it may have had on them, that is not yet clear. One of the very senior psychotherapists, psychologists I was speaking to, Dr. Purnima Nagraj, she seemed to suggest that very often it's not that educated people would necessarily be not superstitious, because it has to do with dogmatic beliefs, and it has to do with blind faith, which may not necessarily have anything to do with your formal education, because this happens to be a highly educated family as well. So what we know is that looks like a regular family, but this very, very mysterious happening. One of the neighbors in fact said they saw the girls actually circumambulating around the house, and the family had also told the police that they believe, the couple had told the police that they believe that many magical things were happening inside this three-story house, and they believe that they were part of some kind of a spiritual process that would take them beyond life and beyond death, and therefore their girls would come back to life, is what their belief was. The police right now have the parents under custody. They are questioning them. Whether there was the influence of a third person or any outsider in this entire series of events, that's also something that they are finding out. And how they came to know about this is also very interesting, because the father has called up somebody that he knew and told him about what really has happened. And the visual, if you were to see the crime scene, it appears that these girls were in fact wearing a red sari and lying in a pool of blood, and you can see a lot of ritualistic things around that place where, it could be considered part of a puja, and there is a lot of, there are a couple of photographs also whose names I'm not going to take, because these are well-known names, but not necessary that they had influenced this family to behave in this bizarre and very horrific manner as well. But what is clear is that the death happened due to the head injuries is what the police is as of now saying. There may have been a trishul also that was used to injure these girls. The postmortem will reveal the exact cause of death, but the parents have themselves accepted that they have attacked the girls and put them to death.
Uma, usually what happens, I mean, this is a bizarre story. We heard you narrate this, and it just is extremely shocking, Uma. But any possibility that the police is looking at of some external influence? Usually what happens is we see that many educated people, and you're right, it's got nothing to do with education, they fall prey to, the diktats of, say, a powerful godman or an influencer. Is the police probing along these lines?
Most certainly, yes, because they are being described as quite a normal family, and if you see their social media profiles as well, you would think this is a regular family doing the regular things that you would expect a well-to-do, well-educated family to do. They had sent their daughters out, one to Bhopal, one to Chennai, to pursue their academic career interests as well. But yes, the police looking at CCTV that is there right outside the house to also know whether there was anyone physically coming into the house and going, and who could have been a point of influence. And yes, this is also a lockdown period, so whether they were using virtual means to connect with anybody else who was influencing them, that is still a part of investigation. I also asked them whether there was abnormal behavior reported by either the friends of these girls or the colleagues of the mother and father, both of who seem to have been known as quite normal people, and he said not yet, they have not yet got any indications that something was amiss with this family.
Uma, I know this will sound bizarre and strange to people who are hearing about this like we are from you, but how is Hyderabad reacting to this absolutely crazy incident?
It's actually not just Hyderabad. If you would see, the social media everywhere, people are reacting with great shock. In fact, on different sites, Facebook and others, social media where we have posted as well, there were multiple kind of reactions coming into this. Some people who belong to that area as well, who are reacting with a lot of shock about what has happened. Others pointing out that, imagine this is an educated family, and how we never come to know the mental status of someone. And the fact that, one of the health professionals also pointing out that in India, we don't even have regular physical health checkups, and mental health is something that is a taboo subject even today when we talk about depression and other issues. But the fact that no one could fathom what was going on inside the minds of this family, that is something that's shocked. And they are also under the impression that these girls do not seem to have been forced into this act. They were co-opted into it, perhaps in some kind of mental, when parents are co-opting their children, it's you usually believe the parents are always doing it in your best interest, and there does not seem to have been any resistance on the part of these girls. But I must point out that one of the visuals, which of course we are not pointing out because they are extremely horrific, but the picture of that one of the girls who was lying in that pool of blood, there is something that's stuffed inside her mouth, and I'm presuming that's perhaps to stop the audio from coming out, or from her from screaming out when she was in fact being attacked physically. This sounds really so terrible that it's difficult for us to even think about what may have transpired in that home late Sunday afternoon.